back to Talking Hoops. It's your girl, Coach T, joined by the lovely Coach Mac and the man, the myth, the legend himself, Coach Riley. And welcome back, crew.
Yes, we're back. We're back in action.
Back like we never left.
And what perfect timing for us to come back during finals week. So, tonight, as everyone knows, we are in for an interesting playoff series. I don't know if anyone could have predicted that it would be the Pacers, but I want to get you guys' thoughts. One, let's start with a little playoff prediction. I mean, not playoffs anymore, the finals, a little finals prediction. Who do you guys have and why? And I'll go ahead and start with you, Coach Riley.
Oh, I start first? Oh, great. Wow.
Here we
Give her
go.
again. Give it. She stole me first. Wow.
Here we go.
Love it. Love it. But to answer your question, I think I have to go with OKC. I have to go
Mm,
with OKC. I love Indiana. I love their grit, but they just don't have enough horses in the stable. Uh,
mm.
for the MVP of the league and his supporting cast. I just think have too much depth, have too much chemistry, and they play too well together with IQ.
Okay. Well, we have OKC. And do you have Indiana winning a game at all? Or do you call a clean sweep?
Sweet.
Oh, get the broom out. Okay. Well, Coach Mack, you and I know the real reason why I let Coach Riley go first, so we can go ahead and get him out the way. Now,
Oh, oh, cut the show. Angel, cut the show.
Now that we've gotten that part over with,
Hey,
you know,
Set me up.
he got a little too much dip on his chip, Coach Mack. Somebody, we got to remind him a little bit. But Uh, Coach Mac, how about you? Do you see OKC taking it or the Pacers? And then how many games do you see this being won?
I definitely see OKC taking it. Actually, I was for OKC back in December during that time, so I was kind of rocking with them then. Um, I see Indiana winning the game. I'll probably give them two for the most part. I think OKC is a much more balanced team. First off, who's going to stop SGA?
Mm,
Like that's going to be their biggest problem. But overall, I think OKC is a much more balanced team compared to them. Um, and considering how young they are, which speaks volumes about that team and their staff and how deep they are, they have more depth. Um, but yeah, I'm for sure going for OKC.
okay. I do think that OKC will come away with the overall win, but I expect it to be a little bit closer. I think one thing that they have in the Pacers have over OKC is they have a guy over there who has a championship.
Mm,
And that makes a world of a difference because he was a part of a championship team that we could say, would they have made it had Steph or not, no, Clay and KD didn't get hurt?
hmm
When Siakam was with the Raptors during that time when they got a championship. And I think what we see with OKC and what we've seen in some of these series is they have moments where they look young-minded,
hmm
where their youth shows. However, I think SGA being at such a prime age right now where you're starting to really see, his game come all the way together, they're going to be very difficult to stop. And I agree with Coach Riley. I think they just have too many horses in the stable for the Pacers. Now, question regarding the Pacers. I mean, again, I know we're keeping the show short and sweet because game starts at 7:30 my time, 8:30 for you guys. Well, except Coach Mac. But do you think that after winning the Eastern Conference Finals, can Tyrese Halliburton be considered a superstar?
mm. That's still tough.
Who is that?
So
There go
you
that
don't
Al.
Yeah, right, right. So you don't think Coach Riley that his name should be ringing a few bells?
If you have to ask, then I mean, he's a good player. Seriously, I
Mm.
like, I really like him. But when you say superstar,
Hmm.
so what's your max? Is that the ceiling superstar, or do you go star, superstar, legend? How do you rank them?
I feel like when you become a franchise player, you're above the superstar level because now we're talking about a whole organization being built around you. I don't think he's there in terms of the whole organization being built around him. But I think he's a key component to the building process of that organization.
So uh, I like him. I like him a lot. Uh, but it just depends on this series if he gets my utmost respect. Because when you say superstar, that means you know uh, the MVP is going to show you why he's the MVP. He showed Anthony Edwards why he was the MVP, and I love Anthony Edwards. He showed the entire team he's going to give it to you any kind of way you want it. I mean, so uh, I like the kid, but superstar. I think he's a star emerging. How about that?
Okay, I like that. I like that. How about you, Coach Mack?
I can agree with Riley on that. I don't see him being. First off, I feel like that term is just thrown around too loosely with this generation.
It
Um,
is.
I mean, you have players that they're good, but I don't see anyone at the level of like Jordan for the most part, or that
Right.
generation.
Yeah.
Um, and I
You talking
think
about the best player in the world, Coach Mack, Jordan?
of course, you know I'm Team Jordan. Um, I was listening to one of the podcasts, The Pivot, with Shaq on there the other day, and that was one of the things they kind of brought up about the type of players everybody's considered or trying to be thrown around as a superstar. And one of the things that Shaq brought out is how players are up and down. You know, you just never really know how they will perform, if they will show up, and things such as that. SGA, I'm a real good fan of his. I appreciate his work. I think if anything, he would probably be one of the ones, but I just can't put Halliburton in that category right now. He's just not that guy for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's fair. Stephen A. Smith got a lot of flack for what he said regarding Halliburton, saying even though he shows up in the big moments, he's still not a superstar. But
Hmm.
what do you guys think would push him to that level? What would take him over the edge? Let's say they do win the finals. Okay, let's say the Pacers win. Is is that enough? Like what is it going to take to push him over the edge? And just as a reminder, I know you all know, but for those who tune in, Tyrese Halliburton set a new playoff record, being the first player in playoff history to have uh, a 20 plus point game, 10 plus rebounds, and 15 assists with zero turnovers. Right? I mean, we're talking about super efficiency here that is very difficult to achieve. What pushes him to that next level of a superstar?
Can I say this, Coach Mack? Let me say this. Uh, I'm a point guard lover. I promise you, I am. I played the position. I've developed a lot of point guards, uh, and I think what's gonna make him that superstar status stick is that he has to do it more than one time if he wins the championship, maybe twice, maybe three times. So not only what made Michael Jordan so great is not only did he win championships, but he maintained and sustained
Hmm.
his great. It kept going. It kept ascending. So I love Halliburton. I really do. I love his game. I love, he got that pretty face, not pretty, but handsome face. Got that handsome face, but he's a real killer. You know, uh, and I just love the way he plays. And I'm a point guard lover, and I just think if well, I don't think that he will win, but if they do win the championship, he has to be considered a superstar. He has to really do it two or three more times.
Coach
Yeah,
Mack?
it's gonna he's gonna need some work, and I'm just thinking about the performance against the Knicks, well, the lack of performance as far as Knicks defense. I mean, that was kind of easy for them. So until you really just play against a team that's a lot more challenging than that, not saying that the Knicks didn't, play well, but there were a lot of moments when their defense was lacking greatly. So it made it easy for the Pacers to obviously dominate. But
Hmm.
in regards to Halliburton, it's gonna take a lot more. Now I understand it's been years since the Pacers has made it to this point. We're talking about what was it, 20 something years?
It's been a
So I
long
mean,
time.
yeah, it's been a while. So I mean, that's great, but Halliburton is just still not that guy for me yet.
He
Still
said
not that guy yet.
still needs a little bit more work. Well, you
Yeah.
know, so I guess that you all will agree with Pascal Siakam winning the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, where it looks like Halliburton was prepared to walk up and accept the award.
Yeah, he was he was marching towards that until but until
But
he
until they made the announcement for Pascal. But Pascal was consistent during the whole series and had some huge games that really willed them to that win. And I didn't know if they would beat New York. I didn't know if they would beat New York, but we'll get to New York in a second because just some crazy things with New York. I've been burning to ask you guys this, and I've decided not to ask in our group chat, but instead wait until we're live back on the show about what you would have done if you were Giannis and you just took an L and Tyrese's dad, that behavior that was displayed and what he did coming onto the court nose to nose, throwing the shirt in his face. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
First
I,
off, I think
I
is the access to the players is way too easy and way too open. That's
Way
the
too
first
easy.
thing. There should be some type of barriers that's preventing fans from being able to get that close to players. So that's the first thing. Second thing, Giannis better than me. Because ain't no way you finna walk up on me. First off, you're not finna walk up on me. That's the first thing. We just gonna leave it at that. Because if you get anywhere too close to my face, to my body, that's open grounds throwing these hands. That's all I'm saying.
hmm,
Uh, um, but third, that was so disrespectful. It wasn't even. It wasn't necessary. I mean, I don't. You could chant and all that other stuff, but you didn't. You didn't have to do all that, man. It wasn't that serious.
well, the problem I got with it is this. I'm not gonna say he was a regular fan because he was the player's dad, but security should be fined
Mm.
uh, for letting him come on the court. There's no way Michael Jordan would have went forehead to forehead after he took an L, and the guy threw his shirt. I probably been some blood. It's been a bloodbath out there that night. I'm telling you,
I'm
it'd have
talking
been a
about
whole
just
mess.
taunting him.
Yeah, that go to show you the different type of players now
Yeah.
uh, in the league. So
It just really emphasizes what we've talked about so many times on this show about youth basketball and the way that basketball is progressing and parents being the biggest problem. I mean, constantly the biggest problem. So, I really want to give a shout out to Giannis for keeping his composure. I mean, he really held it together, um, because that could have went so many different ways, right? That could have ended horribly. That could have ended horribly. But getting over to New York, I need to know what you all think and how you guys feel about the firing of Tom Thibodeau.
I just think he's. Well, let me say this first about becoming a superstar. Superstars, i.e., Halliburton and whomever else, after you take an L, you can't accept the fact that somebody's dad on the opposite team is going to go. forehead to forehead with you without swinging, without creating a problem. I would have I would have did something, pushed him or something. That's
That's
superstar.
all I'm saying.
You know, so let me say that first. So, but I really think that the firing was justifiable because when you
I
go
agree.
after the players that New York went after, and Carl Anthony Towns and a lot more of those other players, you have to at least get to the finals. I mean, at least. And you lost against a team that, I mean, they good, but you got Carl Anthony Towns, you got all the other players. Come on, you got you know, and I just don't think uh he don't fit that team. That's not a good fit. I mean, he's a good coach, but he need a younger coach that can really relate to those young men.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see that happening, Riley. I know from your coaching perspective. I know one of the things that well word that has been about some of the players was complaining about how he plays or don't rely on his bench or utilize his bench. Some of the players was complaining. Well, I'm not shouldn't say complain, but some of the players had issues with that. Also, how much the starters plays. God, I mean, the whole game. That's a lot. But I understand this
It
is the
is a lot.
NBA. I understand that, money is involved and all this other stuff. But I just think his whole coaching method was a big issue that led to his firing. In addition to, not making it to the playoffs and stuff like that. However, even though he has turned this team around or this franchise around in a short period of time compared to other coaches that have been there.
Well, I think it was like the last 7 coaches or I don't know if it was 7 or maybe 5. The last 5 coaches have only achieved a total of 7 playoff wins to his 27 or
20,
something like
mm-hmm,
that it was.
20
So,
plus.
yeah, 20 plus playoff wins during his time there. Now, I thought it was interesting after the firing, Michael Bridges made a comment and said that his rotations are not fun on the body.
Mm,
And I really think that that came back to bite them in the butt, and that is why they lost to the Pacers. Is they just simply ran out of gas. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
they ran out of gas. I think it was game 3
Mm-hmm.
or
It was like 20 something.
game 2 or game 3. And what game was it when they went to overtime?
I think that was
Game three.
game 3. Okay.
Yeah.
It was 2 or 3.
Okay, now in that 4th quarter, I'm watching, and the way that Big Cat was running down the floor and, like, he's running into a screen and his body is, when you're just so tired and
Yes.
exhausted,
Yes.
his body is just, flailing all over like he has no body control, and I said, "Oh, they're tired.
Mm,
They're that they are exhausted." And when you look at the minutes and you see you have multiple players with 40 plus minutes and it's only a 48-minute game.
mm-hmm.
He ran them into the ground, and that is, I don't think they lost because Indiana they couldn't beat Indiana. They couldn't beat Indiana because they ran out of gas.
It's
Yeah.
funny. I see that pattern happening with other coaches, like in college and especially high school, definitely high school, when you have coaches that rely on just their starting five and they don't utilize their bench to at least give your starting five some type of break, mental break, physical break, whatever, and then also prevent them from getting in so much foul trouble. Utilize that bench for that. That's like a really common issue that I've seen happen throughout the years, and to see it on a professional level is kind of surprising.
It
But
is.
you know, you
It
would think.
is. You wouldn't expect to see it, especially, and I know Coach Mack, I know you're going to live for this, which you already are aware, but the G League, okay, OKC has 60% of their team at some point played in the G League. 60%. And there is that we have talked about this plenty of time. There is opportunity to go grab talent that is getting some NBA exposure. They're getting some practice in and things like that. And you know, I mean, they're not using these guys. You're literally
No.
only utilizing your starters. So how how do you take a different approach if you're a coach?
This is how you do it. You in my opinion, uh, coach has to really know his personnel and really know that uh, uh, he's playing a team with a lot of experience. And if you don't do that and organize your minutes and things like that, I think you'll always uh, lose those close games, or lose those games you're supposed to win, and things like that. Coach Matt, what do you think? With your new
I
hairdo?
just of course, you gotta show it, right?
Right, right. Give us some side view.
Come
With
on,
the
Coach
G League,
Matt. So let us see it, Coach Matt. Come on.
I'll perform towards the end, so that way you guys can get a 360 view of the hair. Make sure you see the cut, the undercuts. But in regards to the G League, it's interesting. I don't, I don't understand why they have so much talent to pull from, and yet they don't utilize it. But then at the same time, you hear so many people complaining about the players, the star players, about how they're not performing. But yet you have more than 50% of G League players that are actually playing in the playoffs, excuse me, in the finals as well. But still, majority of them actually played in the playoffs. So if you have a higher number of productive players coming from the G League, why not utilize that field? That just doesn't make sense to me. And then you already have fans complaining about, well, the viewership is going down. They're complaining about the performance and things such as that. But yet you have someone who's trying to reach out to overseas to pull a higher viewership and things such as that instead of just utilizing what they have to, have a better product. I don't understand. I know it's a business whole concept, but some
You,
things just
you know what OKC remind me of?
who.
OKC OKC reminds me of a college team that has those fifth year seniors, uh, coupled with one or two superstars on it with a host of guys that been through the process, rugged, don't care about who gets the credit, good locker room guys. That's what they remind me of, a fifth year college team with two
Wow.
superstars.
Wow. A fifth year college team is hilarious. But that is how they're playing. That is how they're
Yeah.
playing. They look seasoned and
Hmm.
they've made it they haven't made it to the finals, but they've made it, deep in the playoffs and I feel like their youth kicked in and cost them games. And
Hmm.
now that they've had another year under their belt, you have Alex Caruso there, who I think is a great vet for those young guys.
From G League.
Yeah.
He is a great vet for those young guys, and I think that that has really helped the maturity level of that team and that
Hmm.
organization. But I think that they are in a position for Shea to get his first championship ring. They call him the free throw merchant. Do you guys do you think that Shea plays similar to a Chris Paul and is baiting and looking for fouls, or is he truly getting fouled and that's just his style of play?
I mean, you can't get mad at the man for knowing how to use his body to score. Get it how you get it. He's just creative and smart with it. That's all.
Coach T, I'm gonna tell you something. What your question kind of, I guess we were thinking alike because I really have a lot of respect after the Minnesota series they had for SGA because I really wanted to watch this game up close. And he really knows how to play basketball. He's gonna
Hmm.
mid range you to death. He's gonna get to the basket. He's shifty. He's about
Yes.
6'7". He can shoot the spot three. He's shooting at the simple fadeaway. I mean, he just and then he gonna make you foul him. I
Hmm.
mean, he remind me of a guy I played with in college. I hate. I'm gonna tell you who he is, Coach Mack. He is the athletic director now of Texas Southern University. He's from Mississippi. He played at Texas Southern, He's about 6'3", playing point guard. Kevin Granger's his name.
Okay.
Man, he made me sick. That slow game. He gonna pump fake you. He had 20 points off free throws. I mean, I can't fault SGA, but he really knows how to use his body, and he getting those points, that easy points, and the
Yep.
old fashioned way. Yeah.
Yes. I love how he gets in the crevice of things and attracts players and involve his teammates. That is like one thing that you
What the,
don't see other players do. And
what's the
so
credit?
basically he getting in the cracks, Riley. So he gets
Oh, okay,
in the
okay.
cracks.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. UNT got these words. I'm sorry.
Oh my god! But no, like he can get in like the tiniest, the smallest cracks. So, say for
That's
example, he'll attract 2, 3 players getting in the cracks, but yet he's dishing it out to one of his teammates to score. It's the way that he gets in there, get involved, and even involve his teammates. That's what I love. One of the things I love about his game.
and he's under control when he goes in there,
Yeah,
Coach Matt. He's very
he
under
is.
control.
He is. He
he
is.
he definitely has an ability to keep things at his pace, and that really plays well for him on the offensive side. Now, defensively, how do you guys rate OKC, and how do you think they'll match up defensively with the Pacers?
Well, if it was me, what I would do, I would really put some type of game plan in for the point guard, uh, Hilburton, and because he is the glue, he is the
Yeah.
man. He makes them go in all ways. So I would put together a package for him. Seriously.
Yeah, I can see that putting pressure on Halliburton because he is the catalyst of the team for the most part.
You have to get
So,
it out of his hands. Any point
yep.
guard that is having multiple games with 15 plus assists. I mean, in some games teams don't, as a collective, barely get 15 to 20 assists as a whole, right?
Right.
So to have
Yes.
that individually, depending on, you're assisting on minimum 30 plus points.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to slow him down because he thrives in the open floor. So as long as you slow him down, slow his game down, I think that will be the start of OKC's defensive scheme against the Pacers.
And
Yeah.
you know what else I would do, Coach T? What else I would do? I would really put him in some ball screen packages to where
Ooh.
uh, he has to play defense with some bodies, getting hit, get bumped on.
Mm-hmm. Wear him
Yeah,
down.
biggest guy. So I would really contest him in that regard as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only thing about the Pacers is that they look in shape. They move like they are in good shape. And I don't know if that's because they're a younger team, if they utilize their bench well, are they just well conditioned? But I think both teams, when I watch them, both teams really can go, and
Mm-hmm.
and they have the energy. I really love Jalen Williams' game. The
Mm-hmm.
one, I know they have two Jalen Williams, the one with the braids. He J Dub is what they call him. His game is, him and Shea remind me of an early Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, right? Like either one of them is liable to have 30. They have different games, but both very effective, and they play well together. They really they feed off of each other. And so it'll be interesting to see if they're able to pull out a championship if they keep that team together. But speaking of keeping teams together, have we seen the last of the Denver and the Celtics crew that they currently have? Have we officially seen the last of that core group play together?
Man, that's tough. They both have a lot, too much going on within the franchise, especially Denver. And how quick everything happened with Denver is what's shocking to me because what about a year or two, you're looking at basically a championship contender, and then all of a sudden it's like they're rock bottom, basically. Uh,
Well,
there's a lot. There's a lot
you
going on
can't
there.
blame Nico on this one. You can't blame Nico.
Oh God, don't get me started on Nico. Look, we barely he because we got Cooper Flag. That's the only reason he get to hold on to that little string because we about to cut it. We ready to cut it. But
and
even that though is still
Coach Mack,
questionable.
he's still praying every day that Cooper still go number one and some fluke doesn't happen. Okay, so just know he only has his job still until they sign Cooper. Okay, and if
Hey,
they don't, and if
we ain't forgiving.
Cooper say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do another year, or something strange happens because there's been plenty of times where somebody was projected to go number one and they didn't
Man, Cooper Flag was making what 25 mil off of NIL
off
in
of
college.
NIL.
His first year.
Well,
At,
it's not about the money now with them
It
guys,
ain't.
Coach Matt.
But I'm just saying, it must be nice.
They really want to be in the league. But to your point, Coach T, about Denver, you know, I've never been a fan of Jokic. I mean,
okay,
Why is
I
that?
like because it takes too much for him to score.
I can see that.
And what I
I
mean
can
by
see that.
that, he
it
got to
slows
take two or
down.
three dribbles. He got to take two or
Yeah,
three dribbles. He needed a lot of space.
you got to think about
Uh,
it.
you know, so then who you go? I mean, he just he's not. I mean, he's a good player. He's highly skilled, but remember what I said earlier in the show about maintaining and sustaining. Jamal Murray. You know, he was a they hell, he surprised his college coach when he went to what he did last year. Although he's good,
Yeah.
and I know the scout from Denver personally. Matter of fact, he came to my school when I was at Provine to do a clinic. Uh, Coach Livesey, he's high on character wise, Jamal and Jokic, but you know they are good guys. But I just don't think. Then you add Westbrook to that team. That's why they went down.
Well, I mean, there were some, some little rumors going around that Gordon and Westbrook were having some issues and some words in the locker room where they feel like Westbrook is immature,
Not
emotionally
surprised.
immature. Not surprised, right? I think maybe that's a little bit of carryover of just feeling disrespected in his career, how his career unfolded and having to be sent down to NBA Siberia and playing with
Yeah,
them for a while. And then he was with the Lakers, and everything was because of Russ and the media. I can't say that was the Lakers sentiment, but the way that things were portrayed in the media is the Lakers aren't winning because of Russ. The Lakers can't do this because of Russ. Russ is the problem, and then he leaves, and the Lakers still haven't improved, right? So that probably was reaffirming for him that it's not me, I'm not the problem, right? So I think he's a bit jaded with how things were handled and the trades that were made. So I think Russ right now is at a point with the huge chip on his shoulder. Even though it's later in his career, I just don't see the ending of his career going the way that he imagines, especially at this point. You're a vet in the locker room and the young guys are saying you're a problem.
and see, Coach T,
Yeah.
you got a very significant point. Russ is at the end of his career with
Hmm.
all this drama going on. So now he's facing that when he used to be the guy to getting triple doubles and all this and that. Even Jordan came out and said that he respects Russ's game. I like Russ's passion he plays with or emotion he plays with. But now, he's not the high flyer he used to be. He never been a great shooter, so his
Hmm.
game has been one based on energy and emotion. But you always have to be that good guy, that good locker room guy, if you're gonna, have some type of success. And I don't even know why they traded for Russ because I don't understand because Jamal Murray's game, he need the ball a lot. So
Yep.
you got to dribble a lot, and then of course Jokic's got to dribble a lot. So it's not like the young man is a spot up shooter in
Yep.
Right.
Westbrook. So I don't know. I don't maybe. What do I know?
No, that's a great point. That's a great point. I think that the fact that he never became a better shooter, a better off the dribble shooter, a better catch and shoot shooter. I mean, I think Russ probably shoots at maybe 30% from the three, and I might need to fact check that. I don't want to, you know,
It's about 33, 34, about
this
33%.
right. And as a starting point guard, when, like you said, you're at the end of your career, something about your game needs to change, right? Something about your game needs to evolve in order to continue to remain relevant and to continue remaining effective. And I don't think that because that ever happened, that has impacted the progression of his career. And I think it'll be very difficult, even though I really I've loved Russ since he came into the league, but I really think Russ might be another AI and leave without a ring. You know, doing all of these great things, have one MVP, triple double
Hold up,
champ.
Coach T, hold up, hold up, hold up. Stop. He's never AI, another
AI,
AI with the
AI had
ring.
game.
You're talking about playing wise.
I'm not talking about comparing their games. I'm talking about leaving the league and never getting a ring, right?
Okay,
Being a great player,
okay.
and you're a outstanding player, had a great career, right? Everybody at one point in time, we were a fan of Russ, right? You know,
Yep.
he was a triple double king saying we were all a fan of AI. You
Dunking
know,
on people. I got
everybody wanted to be like AI, you know. And so you have these great players like that who have careers that are out of this world, set records, do amazing things, and then they leave with no ring.
you. Yeah, I can. I see what you're saying. I thought you was called AI might be the coldest man under 6 feet. Ooh,
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love AI. You know, AI changes the culture of NBA, and
Literally.
it literally single-handedly changed the culture. You know, we talking about practice. He made it seem like practice wasn't cool, you know.
Dress
So
code and everything.
dress
Like
code,
all that changed for the league.
tattoos, hair.
Yep.
I mean, the most iconic moment for me in AI is when he was getting his hair braided on the bench in the middle of the game. I'm talking about bending all the rules and the standards. But now about Boston. Are they going to break that core up? I think Denver, okay, wait. Let's conclude Denver. Do you guys think that they're going to go ahead and break that core group up?
I think so.
It's looking like it
Okay, Jokic obviously remaining your franchise player.
for
Right.
sure.
Is Gordon and Murray good trade material, or is Gordon enough alone where you can keep Murray or keep Gordon? Or do you
I,
think, what do you guys think?
I think Gordon should never been signed with them. Number one. I mean, no disrespect, but what do y'all think? I just think Gordon. I mean, why? Tell
Role
me why.
player.
You
Okay.
can you can you can get a 6'8" role player. He's six
Yep.
three.
He's a role player. So he'll be out of there.
But he's been
Yeah.
a great role player, though. He's hit some game winning shots.
Remember, Coach T. I'm gonna go to the archives. I'm gonna
So
get
many
I need you to pull it up.
superstars.
Hello, talk to me, Coach Matt from the West Side. Come on, Coach. You,
They
in order
need
to
they need the
win a
superstars.
championship, you need at least three superstars on your team.
You
They
do.
have one and a half.
Because Murray is the half.
No, Jokic 75 and Murray 75. 0.75.
Jokic don't get one full superstar status.
No, no, ma'am.
Oh,
No.
Coach Riley. Now, okay, now now Jokic. I'm not a fan of his game, but he led the NBA in all categories this season.
He's selfish. He even started arguing with the refs now. I mean, come on, Yoki, what are you? You can't even speak good English yet. You trying to argue with the refs? Make really?
Okay, all right, we gonna pause on Riley. Coach Mack, he's saying Jokic ain't a superstar. He's
Con-
75% of a superstar.
Considering the work that he's done in Denver, he can be considered as a superstar for Denver. But
for
if you
Denver.
want to compare him to the
You can't
league
put
as a
Coach
whole,
Mack. Don't fall in that trap. Don't side with Coach
for
T.
Denver,
A
but
superstar is a superstar. If you're a superstar in Denver, you're a super. If you're a superstar in Dallas, you're a superstar in St. Louis. You're a superstar in Jackson. You're a superstar everywhere. So he's a superstar with he's a conditional superstar. Is what you're saying.
I mean, I was trying to get to that point.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was trying to say, but if you compared him to other greats, would he be in that category? Now, for Denver, has he done a lot for Denver? Absolutely. He has brought a lot to that franchise. But if you take him out of Denver to somewhere else, could he do the same thing?
Mm,
He's a star. He's a star.
But
okay.
he's a superstar for Denver.
So
He's
you
a
don't
star.
get so if you win MVP of the league, that doesn't give you an automatic step to the superstar?
Yeah, a step toward it. Yeah, he's a star. That he's an MVP of the league. That's a star. That has the aspirations of being a superstar. Name one
Wow.
superstar. Let me put it like this. Name one superstar, just right off the top of your head, Coach T. Give me one right quick.
Okay, Shay. SGA.
Give me another one. Give me one that from the past. From the past.
Would you consider Luca a superstar?
From the past. A for real superstar. Not these guys in the making. An established superstar.
You want like a Vince Carter.
Vince Carter. I didn't take your superstar meter. What? What? He just can jump.
He just what?
He said he just can jump.
Now give me a superstar, a real live superstar.
Okay, Tim Duncan.
Okay, now there you go, Coach T. I know it was in you. Let me I had to bring it out. So when Tim Duncan had one good season, what happened the next season? And the next season. And the next season. As a matter of fact, when he started playing, what happened?
He
Everything was
got better.
superstars are about consistency.
Hmm.
It's all about consistency. You don't be playing the way with a superstar. You don't go up and down.
Hmm.
So you think Jokic is up and down?
Look at him. Did they make the playoffs? Did they make the finals?
No, they didn't.
Exactly. So you mean to tell me a superstar can't take your team at least to the second round of the playoffs? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, you mentioned it. You need three superstars, and you
I
said he's
said
only
I said to win a championship.
yeah. It's tough. It's hard. It's hard because a lot of people I think would disagree about Jokic not being a superstar.
He's a star. He have superstar stats.
Yeah.
But you're saying his ability to not be able to get his team past that second round of playoffs limits his superstar status.
Exactly.
Okay, now I know you're gonna have a lot to say then about your boys over there in Boston. Are we done? Is that core group over with? Is that core group done? Can we go ahead and say because even before Jason's injury, they were already down two
Mm.
in the series, and it was looking like they were about ready to get the broom out. And don't get me wrong, Jason was having a hell of a game before he got injured, but the way they lost those two games before, the writing was almost on the wall. So, is that the
Anytime,
last time?
anytime. Number one, Coach Mack. I'm not jumping in, but I got to say this.
Go ahead.
Number one, Al Horford. When I started with Nike Camp, Al Horford was one of my players I trained and the
I'm
coach
surprised
for.
he's still here. He old.
He's old,
I
He
forget
just
that.
had a birthday. How old?
and
Do we know how old?
I think he's like 37, 38. Uh,
Okay.
but what I'm saying, because he's right around LeBron's age, maybe right at 40. But what I'm saying is this: he is the backbone to that team
Mm.
for a lot of areas. Uh, Secondly, I've always said, and I love Jason Tatum. When he hurt himself, And the way he went off the court, I'm just thinking about Kobe. When Kobe tore his Achilles, what did Kobe do?
Kept on playing.
He came back in the game, shot his free throws, walked off on his own, didn't scream, didn't holler, didn't do any of that. Walked to the locker room. He was hollering, oh, ah, e.
Now you know Kobe is a rare specimen. He is a
Kobe
once in
is
a
a
lifetime.
superstar.
Kobe is franchise. Kobe is beyond superstar. Kobe is franchise. He's the Black Mamba for a reason. And you know, one thing you have to consider is that we don't know the depth of Kobe's tear. Was it a partial? Was it a full clean tear? We don't
It
know,
was
right?
a Achilles tear. And secondly, Brown be at the games too much with Angel Reese and his little girlfriend. We need to stay focused, Brown. So, you gotta stay focused, man.
So you
Am I
saying Brown to Hollywood? He not
right?
focused on basketball.
He talking about Bronny. Brown, come on, man. Come on now. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Coach
And I
Yeah,
Mack, your
love
thoughts?
I think they finna go and shake that up. That's
Okay.
finna go and be changed.
yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Now, do who is the person that leaves? Because now you're in a precarious situation with Tatum being injured. We won't see him next season at all. So you lose out on a season, and then you have Brown, who, as much as they like to compare the two, they say Jason's not the best one out of the two. I think that's
Jason who?
I think
Jason
that's
Tatum is
yeah.
not better than Brown?
Yeah, there's been lots of rumors and lots of whispers that Tatum is not the best person on the Celtics. And
Who said that?
oh, I mean, this has been all in the media. This has been a debate in the media plenty of times. And you know, the question is, do they think that Brown can carry this team and be a
No
playoff
way.
contender and a championship contender without JT?
No way. This is what I believe. Anytime you have a guy that's 6'8" that can do what a 6'4", 6'5" can do, I mean, Jason Tatum, he's athletic, he's long, he can shoot it, he can handle it, he can do multiple things. He's a little soft, but Brown is 6'4", 6'5". I mean, he's a solid player, but
Hmm.
he's no Jason Tatum. I mean,
Hmm.
by a long shot. He just don't have the size, the athleticism, and all that. I mean, I don't know who's debating. Who's debating? What is his guy name? Kendrick Perkins. Them. They don't know.
Kendrick Perkins talks like he was just
Just
Shaq back
cold.
then or something.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh God! Just to see the replays with him throwing the ball or passing the ball out of bounds,
yeah,
pass,
he was a regular on Shaq and a Fool.
right?
He regularly had a clip on Shaq and a Fool. But when he talks about his career, I'm like, were we watching the same games?
Well, anytime you talk about it, you can talk like because most people nowadays, they listen to sound bites anyway, so they just listen. Oh, for real, Perk was that good? I had a former player. Justin played with Perk, Coach Matt.
In
Justin,
Boston, right?
so I saw him consistently. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You be tickling me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I know that we're coming up on 5 minutes of time, 5 minutes until the game starts. So I won't keep us for extra, but I definitely wanted to touch on some WNBA stuff. And
Mm.
what I found to be interesting, and I wonder how this maybe shakes things up for recent WNBA investors, but ticket sales for the Fever down 42% since Caitlin Clark's quad injury was announced. Now, Is that a red flag for concern, or is it just the Caitlin Clark fans specifically there for Caitlin and not for basketball and to see basketball? How does that change things? If you're an investor in the way that the WNBA has been progressing forward, is this a cause for concern?
So here's my hard truth when it comes to WNBA, unfortunately. Yes, that is specifically for Caitlin Clark's fan. Um, the support for the WNBA is still not there. Yes, they're
Hmm.
using Caitlin Clark to ride that train, and why not? But if you take her out of the picture, there's still not much improvement. Sad but
Well,
true.
that's true. Let me say this, and please don't jump on me, guys. Please,
Oh,
Angel,
he's
if
saying
you're
that
here,
we about to have to jump on him. Go ahead.
no, 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 no. But no, seriously, you know, the WNBA has made a lot of progress.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What they are trying to do is kind of do what college basketball does: is put one person against another person.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, in women's sports, you know, uh, not necessarily in women's sports, but in I guess I'm gonna say in women's sports, you had to find more than one matchup to really make it, really popular, really, you got to get more than one matchup. You got Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Who else do you have that you can really really pump up? You know what I'm saying? In regarding Caitlin Clark, what she has to understand is that she can't get hurt. Period.
Caitlin can do whatever she want to do. In case y'all haven't noticed that by now,
Right.
Caitlin can
But
do
what I'm
whatever
saying,
she wants to do.
if it's gonna sustain, if you're gonna really stay at a high plateau, Caitlin Clark cannot get hurt. Michael Jordan, when he was playing at 40, he played every game.
Hmm.
So if she want that superstar status, Coach T, she got to play every game.
So you're saying Caitlin Clark's not a superstar yet?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I just
Caitlin
want to make sure
Caitlin Clark is the WNBA right now,
she is.
unfortunately.
I'm
And she
teasing.
can again, she can
She's
do
a
whatever
superstar.
she wants to do.
She's a superstar, but I'm thinking about 2 years, 3 years down the road with investors and things. She has to get her body right. She need to get on the LeBron James type thing to take care of her body. She has to be there.
And she has the funds for it, and I don't see them
That's
not
right.
willing to put to do everything possible, because I agree with you. She doesn't get the luxury to be injured, and not that it's a luxury, but you just don't get that. And like you said, the WNBA is riding the wave
Yeah,
that of the fans that she has brought, the money that she's brought, the sponsorship, the views, everything. So it's
but
like
that's one person.
the
That's one.
So my
WNBA.
my question is, once again, Caitlin can do whatever she wants to do. Who gonna replace her right now?
I know somebody from West Side of Jackson with a new hair.
Who other than my old self? Who gonna replace Caitlin Clark?
Now, question, Coach Mac, because do you think that class, the incoming draft class, do you think that there's potential there?
It's potential, but it ain't Caitlin
See, Juju getting
for a number
hurt,
of reasons.
Juju getting hurt
You're
Juju
right,
can
Coach T.
touch her, but Juju ain't her yet.
yet. Let's say
For
yet.
several reasons. We're not gonna get into that. But again,
I can
who
get
gonna
into it because
replace
I can
her? We
get
know
into
you
it.
can. We know you can.
Caitlin Clark can handle it, can shoot it. She can shoot from deep. She had the exciting game. What made basketball change? The last change basketball made when Steph Curry changed the game from shooting
Hmm.
threes. Caitlin Clark has, we're not seeing a bunch of people posting up and doing. Caitlin Clark
Yeah.
is shooting that thing from the timeline, and she mean about it, and she's nasty about it. And
Yep.
then she put Angel Reese down. and said, I can tell you what she said, but she called me after the game and told me she called her to be there.
That's what she called you and said.
Yep. Yep.
now, now, really quick, because we do have to shout out Angel Reese before we wrap it up. She has won, well, maybe let's not say won, but she has achieved being the fastest player in WNBA history to 500 points and 500 rebounds. And before Riley says anything about half of those rebounds being her own misses,
I
they
was
are
gonna say that. Riley didn't have to because that was gonna come out of my mouth.
they're
Exactly. Thank you,
there's
Coach Man.
they are rebounds nonetheless. There is nothing on a basketball stat sheet that says your own misses and counts those. So we will give Angel a congratulations for being the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 500 points, 500 rebounds, even though she should be the fastest to 1,000 points and 500 rebounds had she made half of those shots. But nonetheless, she accomplishes yet another token in the WNBA record book.
I got one thing to say about that. It's really sad that we got to figure out awards to give people. Okay, what can we give her? Oh, she the fastest one to 500. Let's count her. Okay, let's give it to her. No,
Okay,
no, no.
but to be fair, they do that in the NBA. So I think that maybe the WNBA might just be trying to have similar acknowledgments and really, especially like you said, they're riding the wave right now. This is the
Yeah,
first time they're getting viewers at this level. And so if you can make it as similar in terms of the stats you collect and the things you acknowledge and recognize, I think that that's where that comes from.
but
So,
they trying to say that's talking like what that's akin to is this. They trying to say Coach T is like Coach Riley. Never. You can never be me.
yeah, because I don't think you've became the all-time leading scorer of a Division One university. So you're right. We could
Here,
never
here
be.
we go.
Man,
Let me get my popcorn.
You know what, Coach Mac? We're actually at time. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, he ready. He ready.
I know he had to sit up in his seat, Coach Mac. That's when I know. I said it's time to go
He
ahead and
ready.
wrap it up.
Coach Angel, pull the plug. Coach Angel, pull the plug.
Angel, cut his mic quick. Okay, but that brings us to the end of time. Like I said, I don't want to hold us. We're back. So don't worry, we will be back next week and ready to discuss and talk more as we will be deeper into the final series. Hopefully, we'll be looking to see who's leaning towards who, and we'll have a few more WNBA games under the belt. So be sure to tune in next week. It's been a pleasure to be back. It's been a joy. I've missed you guys. I've missed the crew, and I've missed talking hoops. But that is